It's time.
Bring on the hot.
Here we go.
Cocktail show.
Get ready to have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
This is exciting. Isn't
Oh, I like that.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Wow.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Cocktail show.
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's Gary Meier.
Snow.
3, 2, 1, 0.
It's Todd Pickering welcoming you to the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour.
Live.
Cocktails. Woo, drinks.
We're streaming live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central.
On November 24th, 2023, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, the beginning of the season in which Garry allows the use of the words "tis" and "twas."
The best way to watch this show is the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
YouTube. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Please like and share the show on all the social media channels.
Comments during the live show, wherever we are streaming, can be seen in our virtual studio
And we may show them on the screen.
and or talk about them.
Of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa.
And that's it.
Now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Live!
Here we go. Let's have a good time on America's podcast. Boom. Shakalaka. Live. Finger guns. Woo! All right. I hope that this is the blackest cocktail show that you've ever attended up until this day. All right. We're going to make it a good one for you tonight. Hope you can stick around for the whole thing because we are jam-packed. First, I have to do something here. I have to kick the tires and light the fires. All right. One more sequence has to happen for us to go airborne on the cocktail show. That would be Leslie removing her condom. Oh my God, she has an intruder.
I do. A friend and intruder. Rick Kaempfer is here with me, and we'll be talking to him later in the show. But
Or soon, because our other guests can't hook up.
well, there you go. I can't do that thing where it's like, we'll do a 1 camera shot and a 2 camera shot. No, Rick's going to be here the entire time. So with that, since we are going to take the top off of a Oyster Bay Chardonnay, I suggest you might turn your head ever so slightly because this one looks like it's got some serious build.
You don't know, Rick, where that's going to go.
There we go. Now we're
All
both
right, here we go. We're ready. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
Oh.
Off and to the sides.
All right. Just like the Kennedy assassination. Off and to the side. Off and to the side.
It was the
His
magic
head-
condom that got
His head came off and to the side. Okay,
To the
as
side.
I kind of mentioned there, I don't know if you heard me, but Gregg Potter, Cathy Rich are on the show too, and we were having some technical difficulties. Ryan, are they in the house?
They are in the house, and he says they can hear. So I think we're solid for a start when we need to stop.
All right, but since Rick is sitting there, we can start with Rick because he has done his book signing today and he's ready to talk. And Rick and I worked together many years ago, and Leslie worked with Rick many years ago. And this book is all about this one radio station we all worked at. And Rick, welcome. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Gary. Good seeing you.
Okay, you were there it is. And he keeps slipping Leslie a 5. Hold it up again.
Yeah, really. Thank you.
Yeah. The cocktails are helping.
You went from, are you drinking, Rick?
You bet.
What do you got?
Corona? I got a Corona.
Okay, good. Good.
Corona.
You had a book signing. The reason you're sitting there with Leslie is because the book signing was near her home, and we wanted to get you on tonight. And you said, well, I won't be able to get home in time to hook up to do your show. And then I thought, well, you're close to Leslie's house. Why don't you just go there? She said, okay. And that's why you're sitting there.
Yeah, and I've fixed her plumbing since I got here. We did
Right.
Watch it. Hey,
He's so handy.
did a little speckling, did some grouting.
He
Hey.
actually fixed the flam shooter on not one but two
Oh yeah,
appliances. Yeah, so
So
we're good.
that's what happens when I get invited.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Not
they
much
are talking in code.
And,
I will tell you that.
Rick the German man.
Hey, wait, Rick, before we do anything with you, I don't want to skip some essential parts of the cocktail show that we do every week, and that would be checking in with the comments. And the first one on the top of the pile is always from Kellyanne. My schnauzer and I are still stuffed from yesterday. Yes, a lot of us are. And you can give your pets stuff from your meal, but it has to be gone through. You can't just give them everything off the table. Although back in the
bones,
day,
no
yeah,
chocolate. Yeah,
right,
you gotta
no
be really
skin off a turkey, that kind of thing. So that'll happen. All right, and Gregg from Decula, Georgia. Black Friday greetings. Thank you, Gregg. And Bradley, Scottsdale, AZ. Hello. Hello, Mr. Letterman. Hello. And David R., Iowa City. Cool and cloudy, eating turkey, playing with a schnauzer. That's your Friday right there. Your 4-day weekend. Sweet. Looking good.
no pecking.
Samantha, I have my mocktail of orange juice and cranberry juice. Cheers. Happy Friday. Good to see you, Samantha. You're always here every week. And let me go to the screen door. Got to do a few through the screen door. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
all right.
look at
I just leave it
firing
where
on
I left
all
it last week. Yeah.
Oh.
And then I just pick it up so I don't screw it up. Kevin, GarrForce, forgot to give you a shout out, Gary. It was National Garry Day last Monday. Even Gary's it was. I wasn't listening to satellite radio. They always have National whatever day on those channels, and I missed it.
And to be honest, our Golden Bachelor has thrown off the whole Garry thing even further because he's Garry 2 R's and an E. Yeah.
E. I've never seen that one.
I know, it's Jerry.
Yeah.
Come on.
JL from Frankfort, Illinois, my former hometown. And Blaze in the friendly confines of my living room, sipping on a Manhattan. Hey, brother, I hear you.
Blaze is usually at like some beautiful bar, a woody bar. I love following him on Facebook because he always seems to find really interesting haunts.
I have one
Woody
more.
Bar was my radio name when I worked in the Northwest. The Andy Deerer Show. Awesome having Rick by to sign books. Cool meeting Leslie today. He must have gone to your signing at the Blue Village Vinyl Store.
The owner of the store.
Yeah, is the owner of the store. I got to meet Andy today.
Well, there it is. Okay. And you had told this story, Leslie, over the week where your husband would go there and get rid of all your old vinyl and became friends with Andy. And you had not been until today.
And I saw some things that, like personal possessions that were now up for sale there. Including a couple of shirts that were worn by one of your previous partners. And I'm not saying, but
It's a Hawaiian shirt.
Okay.
Connect the dots.
Well, and on that
and
note,
they're still available. If you want to buy them.
Okay. On that note, we will get into the book here. It's all about this radio station that was known as The Loop. You're wearing one of those vintage T-shirts. If you could. You can't see, you're behind. Yeah, there it is. They sold a shit ton of those T-shirts.
Yeah.
Somebody got the money for it. I did not. But this station started in the late 70s and had about, 3 or 4 different iterations. And you've covered all of them, I believe, in the book, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the first, you were part of the 2 biggest ones. That was the late 70s through early 80s, and then the late 80s and early 90s. Those were the 2 big ones that people still talk about today.
And you worked there from when to when?
I was there from 87 to 93.
Mm-hmm.
So I left the station about 1 week before the Stephen Garry breakup.
Okay. And I started in 78. I was doing all nights there. And about 4 or 5 months after I started, It was owned by a private family, the Chess family. Chess Records was part of the family, and they had owned the station for a number of years. And about 5 months into my run there, it starts going around the station that there is going to be a sale, and everybody's freaking out because generally when there's a sale, the format changes, something bad happens. It doesn't stay the same. And I thought, oh, geez, I've only been here 5 months, but I'm the all-night guy. They're not going to touch me until they really have to, and they got other things to worry about. I'm pretty safe, I figured. And then because the rumors are getting so strong, the owner called us into his office and said, listen, I know this rumor has been gaining steam, and I want to tell you that I would not sell the station unless I got $5 million cash. And he was kind of throwing it out as, I'm not selling because that number is so astronomical. Nobody's going to pay that. So we're all safe. About a month later, the memo goes out, station's been sold. Because somebody offered him $5 million. Now, $5 million in the scheme of radio real estate, that sounds really cheap. And that was really high back then. This is the late 70s. And $5 million for a radio station, that was a lot of money. Today, it's not so much, considering where these stations went and now they've fallen back to earth.
Right.
The person who bought it was a congressman from Hawaii. He had owned other stations and decided to buy.
Like Inouye or somebody?
No, Cecil Heftel.
Cecil Heftel was, yeah.
Right.
See, this guy, he
wrote the book on the subject.
Yeah. And
nobody
now,
better to do it.
Now there is full-blown reality panic because it has been sold. And I'm thinking, well, okay, again, I'm on the all-night show. I'm the last person they're going to look at if they're going to make any changes. They'll look at the other more important day parts, as they're called. As the months go on, they bring in a consultant, and he decides to do a little rearranging with the morning show, And so that's how I got started with Steve, and that's how our run got started. You cover everybody who's ever been behind the microphone there in this book, it seems. I saw people's names that I had not remembered for many years, and you found them, and they're in the book. And first of all, how do you go from record producer to, you have a publishing company?
I do, yeah.
Not record producer, radio producer.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Record.
Okay, radio producer.
He wishes he was a record producer.
Close enough.
He might be, because I don't understand the transition from radio producer to, why a publishing company?
So, I wrote a couple of books before I became a publisher, and I dealt with, like, my first book was sold to Simon & Schuster, and my second book was another New York publisher, and just dealing with the big time New York publishers, that I felt like they didn't understand Chicago. And I do understand Chicago, having been a radio producer. I know the media environment. And I thought, well, how about if I start a company that focuses just on Chicago? And that's what I've done. And that's why a book like this is perfect, for the Chicago audience. It's a book about a radio station that people really have very strong feelings about. I was telling Leslie, we were at this signing today, and people were coming up, they were crying. They have such strong feelings about how much they love this radio station.
Okay, so you cover the different, like I said, different platforms that it went through, as far as all music, and then it was talk, and then it went back to music, and bop, bop, bop. And then in the end, this is the funniest part to me. God now runs the station, because only God could step in and say, that's enough.
Yeah.
Now it's all Jesus. Which
it's all mine.
All the formats. I mean, that's the weirdest thing.
It is. It's almost poetic, really, if you think about it. We had Satan running it for 40 years, and then,
and some of the people interviewed for the book were referred to as Satan by some of us who worked with them.
As it turns out, that's true. I interviewed
we won't say who.
I interviewed over 100 people for this book. That, as you mentioned, people that are just there for a day or two. But here's the thing: some of those people have the best stories, because when you're in the the muck and you're doing the show itself, you're on the air. You're worried about what's going on out over the air. you're not realizing some of the stories that are happening behind the scenes. And those are some of my favorite stories in the book.
Yeah, I was so happy to ride that wave because that was when radio was at its zenith. And I loved radio so much that it was cool on every level to me. Playing music, I liked that, but then I loved doing the talk end of it. And those days are gone. It doesn't have that fizz, and I'm surprised that I know it's got a lot of competition. I understand that, and it would have changed at some point. But to go from where it went when we were there to where it is now seems like a drastic drop. Or is that just natural evolution of things, and that's the way it goes?
Well, it all starts with the Telecommunications Act of 1996, if you want to know the truth, where even at the Loop, we went from being a station that was worried about the content of the show, for the people that own that station became buyers of radio stations. That was their number one job, was to go out and buy new radio stations. And they ended up buying hundreds and hundreds of radio stations. It became Clear Channel, which is now iHeart. That
can't
was
keep up with
right.
Who's bought what, and
they own like 1,200 radio stations now.
Right.
So
three companies own most of the radio stations, and they strangled the whole way they ran them, as far as they treated it like they were selling buckets. And radio, all radio is if you have that visit, that's the monkey trick. The visit with the host and the audience to gather that large audience because they like the host and all that. And that's all it is. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of office equipment.
Well,
it's just a bunch of equipment in a building. That they didn't get that. They thought it was it doesn't matter what we put on.
If you want to peek into like how some of that works, your first novel, Severance, was really just kind of an indictment of that whole process, how they were buying up all these stations, and it's just these idiots in their private jets and the way they just wrung all the actual talent out of the profession.
They honestly did not care about what was on. They started calling it content, but they were referring to it with the stuff in between the commercials, basically, is what they were. Because it was all about the commercials. Obviously, it's a business.
It
makes
business,
sense. But they never talked that way. Like, we'd go to these promotion meetings at the end, where Leslie and I worked together at a different station, and they started talking about the listeners as consumers instead of listeners, and they didn't really care.
Garry, you talk about you had a meeting where they referred to they didn't want to refer to people as talent anymore. You're just an employee.
You're just an employee, to kind of bust you down even more in the process. It was okay. I didn't want my ass kissed, but I just thought there has to be some kind of pecking order. That's what makes stars in movies and every other medium. You have to have that. Otherwise,
that's what you're selling.
TikTok.
That's what you're selling
now.
Well,
that's it. That's what you're selling.
What we've got now is
you're selling something special. That's why people come to it, because there's something that's different than everything else out there. My daughter today showed me some TikTok videos, and she would go, it was a woman putting jackets on her dog. And my daughter said, she has 1.5 million views on this. And I'm looking at this going, oh my God, this is where it's gone.
That is the most depressing thing I've heard all day. Thank you for that.
Yeah, believe me.
That's pretty much it.
I was depressed too.
Or people who are watching other people's content and going, and they've got 2 million followers.
I know.
I'm watching somebody else's talent.
Or it's Mr. Beast, and he's worth 500 million.
At least he dug some wells, and now he's getting shit for it because nobody likes somebody who shows up and just does something nice.
You mean wells for poor people in other countries? Water,
he was
getting water for
honestly bringing water to 500,000 people, and he's taking heat for it because how dare you?
How dare you help people? Let them lose their souls. They're animals or something like that. All right, Rick. So when you started talking to people about this book, what was the general attitude with people that worked there over the years? Were they wondering why it went the way it went, or they just didn't? What was their attitude?
So, you know, the one question nobody wanted to answer when I was talking is why it ended, because everyone has a different theory about it, and I think that one just kind of hit a nerve, you know, where everyone has a different opinion of why it went that way. But other than that, everyone was very helpful and really wanted to talk. And, you know, I think everybody who worked there, we all remember it fondly, even if maybe if you had a more realistic memory, it wouldn't be totally fondly all the time. But
in these days of Me Too, it might not be allowed to be the station it was. Well, I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
I'm saying.
But in that moment, it was just such a cool, creative place to be, and it was the best party in town. That was essentially the whole idea behind doing a show. You wanted your show to sound like it was the best party in town.
Well,
like our pod right here.
Right.
What we're doing right now.
One of the ways that it was described, and I think this is the best way, high school with money.
Yeah.
And that's how we went about it. And here's the thing. The listeners were always included. It wasn't, we're over here having a good time and you're out there just listening to the good time. You're part of the good time. Right. That was very important because we were all in this together having the party. And that's why we did all the remotes we did and brought listeners and invited them to all the different functions we did because it was a big party and you get to be part of it, not on the outside looking in.
And that's why they're still so loyal to it today. When I talked to Meier, he said to me that when he gets kudos from listeners, it means much more to him than it does hearing it from, his peers or, critics or anybody, in the business. Hearing it from Joe from Oak Lawn means way more to him because that's who he was doing the show for. And you guys were the same way.
Well, Absolutely. It was just, we caught a moment and we rode this thing and it wasn't planned. It was organic because Chicago, as far as radio at that point, was very conservative, and it was our parents and grandparents' way to get some entertainment.
It was sports and news and all the all those service.
Right. There was a guy by the name of Wally Phillips who had the bulk of the morning audience, but when you listen to it, you're like, oh my God. And having listened to radio my whole adult life in Chicago, the first person that really got me thinking, wait, it doesn't have to be the same old, was Larry Lujak, was this guy that was on the radio. And I thought he was doing something different. And then when Steve came in, my partner, he was doing something different on another station, then came and we got paired. And then that worked. And it was all this organic stuff just coming together. And I'm wondering what you have heard, Rick, when podcasting first came in. This is what I heard from management. Oh, this is just a bunch of losers in their mother's basement doing radio. And I said, wait, they always dismissed some new platform. It was the way that I guess they could rationalize their job and just pretend like there was nothing coming. And I said, wait a minute, this seems like something that we should pay attention. No, don't worry about it. And the response to everything was when satellite came in, well, we'll have HD radio. Yeah. And I said, what's that? Well, that's the side channels to our signal. And then it's commercial free. And I said, well, then how do you make any money on those? Well, you don't. But then you're telling people to leave the mothership and support these other channels. That's not a business plan. And then the HD radios were $500 and that didn't work.
Right. Everybody's going to own one of those.
I said,
it's like Roger Ebert talking about when, what was it? Laser disc.
Oh yeah.
And somebody suckered him into buying several $1,000 laser disc. No.
Right. And I would say content is king. That's how you do this. You give people something they want to listen to. That's never going to change. Oh, you're an asshole. Get out of here. Okay.
Well, it's pretty content free right now. If you listen.
Well, it's just the thing is, and I guess it's something where if I say something, I sound like I'm bitter. I guess I am a little bit, but I went through these situations where I was doing something and it was working and they go, get out of here. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is working. Yeah, but we don't want it to work or whatever. And the last radio station I was on, I was doing well and they moved me to their digital platform. I wasn't one that said move me to your digital, but they did it just overnight without even discussing it with me. So then I get on the digital platform and I'm thinking this is the future, and I was doing well on that, and they pulled the plug on that. It was okay. I can't figure it out. It's just
to
madness.
this day, my favorite moment on that day was Dr. Milt Rosenberg.
Yeah,
brilliant man. I mean, we're talking genius material. Walking into our studio and going.
The timing of this was it was golden.
Garry, you give the quote.
Okay, so Milt did this show on WGN radio in the evenings, and it was very intellectual. And the guy was in his 90s, and I was on his show a few times and never took notes. He could handle the callers and everything with ease. And I'm thinking, I can't do this now. And I'm much younger than this guy. And he was just brilliant and such a nice guy. So the last day we're on the digital platform, and I didn't know it was my last day. I got the email about 2 hours later, and that's the way they handle things. They don't even tell you in person. The last show, he opens the door after the show's over and says, "What the fuck are they doing at this radio station?" And I said, "No."
Oh my God, it's indelible.
I know, but the timing of it was so. 2 hours later, I get the email. We're not gonna.
You're out.
Have you on anymore? And I'm okay.
You're too talented. You are now matching British soccer when it came like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It was us and British soccer.
Yeah,
and they
soccer
went,
games,
let's
which are
blow
huge.
this thing up.
Yeah, and I really.
I'd love to hear Milt Rosenberg say that.
To hear him swear is seriously
he
like,
was like
that was a bonus.
He was like a professor.
Absolutely, very serious. What the fuck
and they
are
were jacking
doing
him
on my
around
radio
at the end too. I mean, it's just I don't know. They just have it in their DNA to jack people around. I don't know what they get out of it. I don't see the results of that in any
like
good
you said,
it's kind of content free now.
Tool around the dial these days.
Did you find out anything that you were surprised to find out when talking to all the different people?
Yeah, there were a lot of stories. I mean, remember Scott Dirks?
I do remember Scott.
Overnight jock. He had some great stories about going to Chicago Fest, and there was a story about a guy named Wild Bill Scott. Do you remember that name at all?
Vaguely.
He was like I vaguely remember him too.
Yeah,
and he held up a loop shirt to try to like be like an animal, pulled a knife out and sliced through the shirt just to be like cool in front of all these crowds, and stuck the knife right into his abdomen. And had to have like a colostomy bag and everything. But
I didn't hear that one.
Isn't that a good story? I thought
Yes,
that was a good story.
I haven't gotten there yet. Oh my God, it must be near the end. Okay. Oh my God.
You can't call yourself wild unless you do stuff like that.
He lived up to the name.
Yes.
I like that one. But there's lots of wild stories like that.
But it seems to me, and I'm going to talk to Gregg Potter and Cathy Rich in a few minutes because her father, Buddy Rich, happened to be on the Johnny Carson show last night on Antenna TV. And Johnny and Buddy were talking about their long friendship and going out on the town. And you can imagine in the 60s and 70s when these guys were at their apex of popularity, what that must have been like. But in general, am I just imagining this or is it true? As a society, we've kind of lost our ring-a-ding-ding, our fizz. I love that 50s, 60s, 70s. Let's have a good. That's what I'm trying to do here. Just have a fucking good time, and that seems to be.
Somebody's gonna say you've insulted me, which is pretty much was your content for the entire time that you were on. That was if somebody wasn't insulted, then we weren't doing our job properly.
If you really want to amuse yourself, Garry, there's I went to the FCC files and I found the citations of you guys, what you got fined for. I won't read it here. It's a little off color.
But, you can't do that on a podcast.
No, I know you guys.
Give me a little bit.
I'll just give you. It was about Vanessa Williams when the Penthouse magazine came out,
and she had just been Miss America, right?
And the three of you did an impersonation. You and Stephen Bruce did an impersonation of Bob Costas trying to interview her while having this in his head.
Okay,
and it was hysterically funny. Hysterically funny.
Okay. Bruce Wolf was our new or weather
Sports.
weather sports whatever.
Sports, it's all together.
Yeah.
Yes,
Are we up for? Oh, we still have 29 minutes before we have to break for news, sports.
Yeah.
traffic,
Okay.
and weather.
Yeah. Right. When you are on, if you go on any traditional radio, are you going to do traditional radio interviews with this?
I did. I was on WGN radio morning show last week.
Okay, and
with
you
Wendy
got 6
Snyder.
minutes, and then hey,
Yeah.
Rick, can you hang on? And yeah,
Yeah.
that's they're still doing the same format.
Exactly like
50
that.
years later. But yeah, it's really interesting how things evolve and devolve and all that. And again, it was just great to ride that when it was happening because it's gone. It's never coming back to that extent. Although it can come back somewhere in there. It doesn't have to go completely away, but they're not really interested in doing that. They don't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
We're not making it. They have a million excuses. They don't have the money anymore. Okay, then just lie there. That's not going to work.
Well, you had this, at the Loop, they've spent a lot of money. That was a very high priced lineup. But they
were
made
making a lot of money.
Exactly. Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was the key.
I don't know.
There's also a couple stories in there, Gary, you'll get a kick out of that. Each of the shows would get upset with the next show because it started a few minutes late. There's a story in there about when you and Steve turned the chipmunk voice on Chet Kopic's microphone.
Right. Chet Kopic followed us. He was a sports guy.
Serious sportsman.
Did it after our show, and we would love to screw with him, and he'd really get pissed off. I mean, he couldn't take it, and he didn't know the chipmunk machine was on as he was talking, right?
Right, exactly. Because he didn't put his headphones on because he didn't want to mess up his hair. So he didn't know what's happening, but the board operator would hear this, like, "Hi, it's me, Chet Kopic," and he was like, "Pete Rose is on the phone," and it was really hysterically funny.
Here's the thing: when I read a book like yours, or people send me videos of TV shows we did or whatever, and I have no recollection, and it's not like I'm experiencing Alzheimer's that I know of. It's just that how did that go in the ether? And I wasn't high.
And like you said,
it's like what that happened.
Because you did it every day.
And that's where maybe it does take those new eyes, like the people who were only there for a brief while,
right,
to see just how unique that situation was. The rest of us were like, And like I said, in this day and age, HR, I mean, their phone would have been on fire.
They would have, yeah.
Which is, I think, part of why you couldn't do it anymore is.
And all of this took place. All of this took place before the internet. So the fact that there's any record, video, audio at all is kind of amazing because we didn't tape every show necessarily. Outside of the station had to tape it for legal purposes in case something came up. But it was such a slow running tape that it was almost inaudible. So it's not something you could just put out there on the internet and they go, "Oh, that sounds good." So we did all this before the internet. If we were during the internet, all little pieces would be circulating all over the place.
Oh my God.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It would be
either
huge.
Good. I don't know. Is that good? Is it bad?
We'd all be in jail.
Maybe.
Probably. But okay. So the book is The Loop Files. You want to hold it up again?
Yeah. There it is.
There it is. Two for Friday.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's at eckhartspress.com.
eckhartpress.com. Rick, congratulations on another great book. And I promoted your Cubs book the other day because I think this is something that if you're a Chicago Cubs fan or know someone who is and looking for a Christmas gift, this book that Rick did.
I have a copy. Oh, shoot.
Every Cub that ever wore the uniform is in your book. Everyone.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because there's a lot of work that has to go into that. I'm sure. And
I should have had a copy of it up here.
And you update it all the time too, because there are new players coming in all the time.
There'll be a new one coming out on opening day this year.
And what's the name of it again?
Every Cub Ever. Easy to remember. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Self-explanatory.
Thank you, Gary.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Happy holidays.
I'm just gonna stay here.
Yeah, he's got nowhere else to go.
All right. You might want to And you're going to fix
Cheers.
Leslie's
Flam shooter.
Something
Right.
Flam shooter.
Yes.
Okay. Ryan, do we have Gregg and Cathy available?
When do you want to do sponsors? Do you want to do sponsors first, or do you want to do?
Let's do that. You're right. Let's take care of the fine sponsors first of all. Bettenhausen Automotive.
Right now, during the Black Friday sales event, 5 and drive at Bettenhausen Fiat in Orland Park. It's as simple as 1, 1.9% for 36 months, 2, 2.9% for 48 months, 3, 4.9% for 60 months, 4, 5.9% for 72 months, and 5, drive your new Fiat 500X Pop or Sport of your choice. Long live the good life in your new Bettenhausen Fiat. Your best Fiat buying experience starts now. Showroom never closes at BettenhausenAuto.com.
And they have a 96-hour sale going on right now that has huge savings on a number of their vehicles. I have a Fiat 500X. I love that car. Love it. Okay, we have David Hochberg, who does mortgages and things. And I was listening to him. He was filling in on some radio today, and they were talking about pee infections. And I thought, wow, okay, there's content. Yeah. He had a doctor on, and if you're peeing too much or whatever, that's not what he does. He talks about mortgages and things. Those are the numbers. Free consultation. He's the guy, and he'll take care of you. If you like saving money, you got to call this guy when you do your mortgage. All right.
Before we go to Gregg and Cathy, let's set up the giveaway too, because we generally wait too long. So let's do hashtag loop files.
Okay.
Hashtag loop files. It doesn't matter caps or lowercase, but hashtag loop files. And here's what we're going to give away, because I don't have another jacket. Let's face it, the last 2 weeks have been pretty monumental. We gave away not just a jacket, but a hoodie from our friends at Buddy Bear Car Wash, but we're giving away one of their backpacks, which is pretty darn good too. And if you're in the Chicago area, I'll try to include a free look at you. Buddy Bear Car Wash.
Barbie Pink,
which is very popular. Let's include some stuff from our house band, Oh Yes, a house band koozie and bracelets. We have, of course, from Turtle Bean, we have a Mad Magazine book. I don't know what year. This has got to be from the 70s, probably. But
it's Mad. It's Mad. It's good. It doesn't matter what.
It's awesome. Ellen Delinka made us our custom Garry Meier Show refrigerator magnets. Got one of those. We've got a ball liquor. We've got some bendables.
Okay.
I'm including this, but I suggest that you don't maybe use it, but it's satisfy her completely, stay harder longer with linger, whatever that is. But we've been talking a lot because, well, of course, if you go to your out of my mind section of the
my website, you mean
the website, there is the explanation about like how to recognize a
penis health,
healthy erection. So
right, you've got 4 stages from no good to super fine.
Right. We also have a whoopee cushion.
Okay.
A ball liquor. And the gift that started it all, condom. Your very own wine condom. So there you go. Holy shnikes, that is one hell of a price.
I guess we know why
we're impressed.
It's too much for one person.
I think so.
And I guess we know why we're not on the radio anymore. So I can answer that.
Yes, because the FCC totally would have been on the on the hotline.
All right, is Gregg there? Is Cathy there?
I don't know how we're going to follow that.
Oh, you always
want us to go through our kitchen drawers and find some candy corn from Halloween. I might be able to give that away.
All right.
Maybe we could find a used condom from Don Melton, the keyboard player in Teenage Radiation.
In
his van.
Now you're okay.
By the river.
Wow.
Are you 2 drinking?
Of course. I'm starting to do blow again. Cheers. Forget about it. I'm bringing the 80s back. I got my friggin' Teenage Radiation shirt, and I'm ready to start snorting something from Skender's base case.
Wow. All right, Gregg.
Holy cow.
You're throwing all kinds of obscure stuff out there. And
Wow. Well, I'm
Look it up.
You know what?
We can watch this again and start doing Google searches.
I threw the obscure stuff out by myself.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just given a condom that's going to make me linger. You should hear the comments I'm getting from Mel Torme's niece.
Okay.
No, the other stuff.
Yeah, wait.
Linger.
Yeah, she wants to
We
know
need
what.
like a case of that.
Yeah. Can you imagine what I'm going through? Did you ever hear the Buddy Rich tapes? I'm getting the Cathy Rich bedroom tapes. You call that a band? Yeah.
Okay. Let's. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. Okay.
He's lost it.
I've been saying you two are married. Are you married, or what is your relationship?
She's pregnant. She is pregnant. I just said it on. So she has to be married, or my mom will be mad at me.
That's right.
Are you serious?
No. Yes. No.
Wait, really?
No, she's not.
What?
I'm
having a heart
75 years old.
Okay.
It comes out as dust now.
Linger.
There you go.
Yeah, linger. Yeah.
Linger.
We've got a 22-year-old guy that does the lawn here. He lingers.
Moving on. As I mentioned,
moving on.
Cathy, last night on Antenna TV, your father was on, Buddy Rich.
Yes.
And he was talking to Johnny about their long-running friendship and hinting at some of their partying days. And I can't imagine, or I could, I think, those two on the town in New York or Los Angeles. Do you have any inkling of what that was?
I actually do. Not firsthand because I wasn't invited to go on those excursions with the two of them.
Good.
But I do have one funny story quickly. That my dad wasn't a drinker at all. So he would drink one glass of wine and be bombed. So Johnny liked to drink wine. So they spent the day at Johnny's house drinking wine. And by the time they got a car to finally come pick them up and take them for dinner, they were both like in the bag. So this I heard from a third party who happened to be in the restaurant that night. My dad and Johnny are sitting there eating, and Johnny can put it away, so he's drinking more wine, and Buddy's done. So this woman walks over to the table, who is an old friend of our family, and she says, "Buddy, it's been such a long time." And he looked up and passed out in the spaghetti. Literally, his face went down. And so Johnny continues eating, finishing his meal, and then when Buddy finally comes to, they pick his head up, he's like full of pasta, and the woman looks at my dad and she goes, "Wow, she was really surprised to see you, and you must have been really surprised to see her." Went down, that was it. Put him in a car and sent him home. That was all.
Yeah, those were the ring-a-ding days I was alluding to. That's when these guys were just hot on the town. And
you ran the town.
Right, and Johnny had 15 million viewers at 11:30 Eastern at night. 15 million. They can't get that on a primetime show these days.
Right.
So everything was concentrated as far as a few TV channels, and the show business thing was very tight. And you didn't have the internet where everybody that puts a sweater on their dog is a fucking star. So this was a different era. This was something.
So sick in your craw now for a long
Yes.
No, but you actually had to have talent. You had to be a star.
Yes.
You couldn't just, have a YouTube channel and be like, "Here I am," right?
Yeah,
I have 45
that's what I mean.
million views. No.
There was a process. There were rungs you had to reach to get to stardom, and now it's everybody and anybody. And your father also played with the Tonight Show band last night. This was circa 1979, and just fucking killed it.
Oh, yeah.
Just amazing. Well, you know that. I mean, that's your father and Gregg. You've been playing drums for many, many years, and now you both head up the Buddy Rich band.
Yes.
And they were talking about some of the members of the band, and Johnny said, "My God, Buddy, some of these members are kids, and they were in their 20s then, and you have some of the original members, right?"
We do.
Yeah, they're only 106.
Okay.
and
We have to prop them up, but
Yeah,
they can still
and-
play.
and it's good because we could just pay them in like oatmeal. You know what I mean? You don't
okay.
have to give them dough. And they're even too old to drink. So all you do is just give them water and like oatmeal and put a diaper on them.
You're really selling it now. You're really selling that whole thing.
So, oh God, yeah. Please come out and just smell the stage.
Wow. Okay. I guess, Greg, I guess the Coke kicked in.
I guess it did. I think I
So-
snorted some green Comet. I'm actually clean right now.
So you're on your way to London this weekend to play.
Yes, we've got to get out of
you
the
go-
country because if I play here, I get arrested.
Okay. You
They don't even let me play in this friggin' country. I can't even play for my family anymore. We're going to Uganda next, or Nigeria or something. No, we're going to England, to Manchester.
To Manchester, England, to play at the Bridgewater Hall for a big Christmas show. So that should be really fun.
But when we come back, we're going to be right in St. Charles, Illinois, at the Arcata Theater, and that's
Our
why we
Christmas
wanted
show.
to talk to
Yes.
just in
Okay.
case a lot of your listeners don't necessarily get on an airplane or
go to
over
England
to
to see us.
Yeah.
or go to. But actually, I believe they're going to simulcast. I'm a lot
Whoa,
older
how
than you
old are
guys.
you?
We're going to do a radio
Stream
simulcast.
it.
Yeah, it's going to be in quad, and it's going to be on 8-track later.
Quadrophonic.
Okay,
Quadrophonic.
if you're December 21st, is that the date?
21st
Yes, at the Arcata.
Right, and that's why we wanted to come and talk to you about that too. We can
Give a
we can
pair
give
of
some
tickets
tickets away,
away.
and
Yes.
then maybe if you could link that with the condoms, that might be a good. Or that pink backpack.
That Buddy Bear. Great car wash.
Yeah, but look at
the
look
Buddy
at the
Bear
different
car
condoms.
washes.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
Buddy
Bear.
Bear. Okay,
There
but
you
yeah,
go.
so we're
Car
doing that,
wash.
but the thing in England, they're going to do a live stream.
Right.
So actually, I mean, I'd have to send you information on it. I don't know exactly about that, but that happens December 1st, where we play in England. But then we come back here to the States and we play right in St. Charles. So then
It's a Christmas show. You're doing all Christmas
Yes.
songs.
Yeah.
All Christmas. Well, not all. Like we incorporate a bunch
Mostly.
of Christmas stuff with our other
Right.
things.
You come
yeah.
see us in the summer, we play all Buddy Rich music.
Yes.
You come see us in
I
the
have
winter.
seen one of their previous Christmas shows, and it is,
Fun.
I mean, action packed. There's a lot going on.
on.
And yes, you
And will we
and
see
you
you
will
this year
leave
also?
there
Leslie,
in the
you better come
holiday
see us.
spirit.
Leslie,
I know.
And well, Gary,
No
you'll-
problem.
Gary, you won't be
Yeah,
here.
you'll-
I'd
Leslie,
love to
what
come
about
and
my
see
other-
you
what-
if I could. I really would.
Yes.
I'd love to have your
And
band.
then Rick.
Here's my dream. Your band plays for one of my remotes at some point.
Oh,
absolutely.
definitely,
All together.
definitely.
We
And
can do that.
Yes, if we could set something, we would definitely come play. I mean, or if you're going to be here, or if
Wherever.
we'll come
We'll
there.
come to where you
and then,
are.
Or then I want to be in his next book.
You've got all the
So
stories
deal.
of being in teenage
Done.
radiation.
Yeah. Did you get that? Like that hard drive filled with like a bunch of video?
Yeah.
Gary,
Did I?
did you get that?
Yes.
Who'd you?
Recently?
Did you get that recently?
Yes. What you're talking about, let me fill in some of the blanks here.
Please.
Okay.
A guy that did a lot of our TV stuff found, I guess, a lot of the shows and put them all on one hard drive.
Okay,
And-
so that
That fellow.
that guy, that's all my personal collection.
Yes.
That's
we
yours?
didn't find
Yeah,
anything.
you know the guy, right?
The
I
guy.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say his name.
No, I don't know where you're going with this.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not going to go good.
No.
Oh,
That's why I'm
okay.
not
Wow.
going to say
How
his
old
Okay.
were
name,
you,
but I
Greg?
know you like to.
had to be
you
like,
to
you were a puppy at that.
exactly.
stage.
You like to see
Right.
me spin out, and I'm so spun out on this scene that I had just go down with the scene with getting those videos.
Well, he was
Basically,
hounding you for
He's
years.
hounded me since because he claims to be a television aficionado, and he's
Okay.
been on me basically. When did that show happen? Basically, right when I was 11, you were 21 or something.
Well,
I'm
wait,
saying,
Greg, what's the issue though overall?
well, the issue
He's not
is
selling it to the public; it's just to those involved.
right. But I'm saying this guy bugged me for years because basically, I mean, like that fella that I was on the show with. In real life, we're hoarders, but you call it collectors. But basically,
No, we're talking about Bill. Yeah.
Okay, No, I love that guy, and I'm just jealous of his collection. But I'm saying, our friend, or not our friend, this guy bugged me forever because he knew that I have got archives of every time I stepped on a stage. Someone filmed it, and television shows especially. So I gave this guy Betamaxes, basically 24 Betamaxes of every show, television show, from the Jay Levine special to all of our morning shows to every television show on Betamax. And this guy knew I had all this stuff. So he just bugged me forever.
All right, what is the issue, Gregg?
The issue is this. So while he's going to do this, he's going to transfer from Betamax. A lot of your old viewers will know that Betamax comes from the 70s, 80s? It's an old
70s,
format of
late
tape.
70s.
So basically, you do have to have a mom that would keep the stuff in her basement in a house that's like hermetically sealed, and all this stuff would be good for 40 years. So while I'm at my mom's house, because we've got a lot of personal stuff going on at the family and all, I find this Betamax tape that has all films of like me from my childhood, playing the drums, my brother. Christmases, like all personal stuff, aside from 20 tapes of my early career with all this television stuff. So while he's going to do this digital transfer for me, which he's bugged me for 30 years, Potter.
All right, we got that part.
You got that part. But I've also got this one Betamax tape that has like all my childhood. Irreplaceable child. Remember like back when you used to have a Super 8 camera?
Yes.
It was a camera that your father would film you.
Right.
So
Like
I had all
that
these
scene in Christmas Vacation when he's up
there
in
you
the
go.
attic.
There you go. But
There
it's Potter's. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've been hanging out at my mom's house a lot.
All right,
with
so
the
Gregg,
situation. Bottom line, I gave this guy all these tapes. He made digital copies. He threw the friggin' Betamax tape away that had all that personal stuff on it.
And then tried to extort it
and
for
then
money.
tries to come back and go, I never had that tape. By the way, could you give me some
I don't
money
know
for
anything
these
about
copies?
this.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, it's just, you know the guy, and
But I did. Okay,
No,
I don't
it's
want to
not
get in
you.
the middle
It's
of
not
this.
on you. No, dude, you're not in the
He's
middle
a friend
of
of
it. You're not in
mine,
the middle.
and I don't know anything about this. I would imagine. Okay.
And
We
he
gotta
never
talk
said
about this.
all. Oh, okay.
I don't
Then
want.
don't talk about it.
You know what? Because now I'm in the middle of something I didn't know I was going to be in the middle of. And
Sorry, I didn't want to ruin your show. Let's go back to personal bad buddy Rich stories. Did Cathy tell you about the time that him and Johnny are driving home from Mount? Like Cathy's got a
Linger.
Doesn't matter. Kathy's pregnant already. It doesn't matter. The condom won't help. But no, Cathy won't tell you about the time that she goes to dinner with Buddy and Johnny, and they're both so drunk they don't remember where Johnny lives.
I'm not drunk.
No. Buddy and
was
Johnny
drunk.
are so drunk that they can't tell Cathy how to get home.
Were you the designated driver?
I was the designated driver.
And Johnny's so drunk he can't tell Cathy where he
couldn't
lives.
tell. It was like somewhere up in the dunes in Malibu, which you couldn't. The
yeah,
streets all run like this, so he couldn't tell me how to get home. And finally, I kind of pieced my way, and he had a guard at his gate, and so I pull in, and I said, "I'm dropping off Mr. Carson." And the guard's like looking in the car and looking in the back, and he's like, "Bill, it's me. It's Mr. Carson. Bill, it's me." So he's looking in the car, and he's kind of shaking his head.
This isn't
and
his
doesn't wanna
usual
let us
driver.
in. No. So finally, he's like, "Bill." He rolls his window down in the back seat, and he sticks his head out, and he goes, "Bill, it's Mr. Carson." He's like, "Okay." And as I start to drive through, he knocks on my window. He goes, "Could you please tell him my name is Jim?"
Okay.
See, Cathy leaves out the good story that she's actually a part of. Oh, I never saw my father drink. You saw the Big Buddy Rich drink?
I did. All right.
Well,
yes.
I love that
the
one.
stories about Carson when he was
Legend.
drinking are legend because he had to stop because it was so bad. And remember the comedian Richard Belzer, actor Richard Belzer?
Yeah.
He was on our show once, and he told the story about when Sinatra was at a restaurant in New York and having dinner, and Carson was there, and Carson was shit-faced and starting to walk over to say hello to Frank. And supposedly Frank said to his bodyguards as he's eating his pasta, "Keep that motherfucker away from me."
I'm sure that's true.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, really. So, but
yeah.
wow. Okay, all I can think right now, and I don't know if you saw this halftime show yesterday that people are talking about.
The Dolly Parton thing?
That one. They're talking about that because
No.
she's in a Dallas
She looks pretty good.
cheerleader
She looks
outfit,
pretty good
and
for almost
an
80.
80-year-old woman.
Yeah, not
but
bad.
No, this guy, this rapper that did a halftime. I don't know why they're doing halftime shows on Thanksgiving games, but this rapper came out and it was bizarre because it was like a high school production.
Low rent rapper.
Have you heard about this?
No.
We've heard about it, but
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
Rick?
Yeah,
Jack Harlow.
his name was Jack Harlow, and I thought to myself,
Still is out there.
It's very popular. Right.
Yeah, no,
What's
I
that?
know.
It's pretty popular.
I thought his name sounded like a Chevy dealer because they had like a
yeah.
big ad, Jack
So
Harlow,
what did
and then there was
he
a
do?
Chevy. And I thought, oh, Jack Harlow Chevy. The whole town's talking about the Harlows.
Rick, did you see it?
What did he
yeah.
do?
It
It was a rap performance. It was, I don't
but
know,
it was, Super Bowl half times are hugely produced, and this was it looked like an igloo made out of sheets, and he's walking around.
Yeah.
And there's
right.
a guy
it was like
behind
a high
him.
school. It was like a
Yeah,
high
it looked
school
like a bad
variety
high
show.
school production.
We couldn't hire the college band,
Right,
so we
exactly.
brought in
We got the high school
JV high school band.
Right.
I
the
guess
tour was
my-
like shipping
here.
peanuts.
My point is, this show is going to be talked about as that show's talked about at this point.
Okay. As long as it's talked about, that's
There
all that
you go.
matters.
There you go.
Right?
Wow.
That's it.
Okay,
Yes.
well,
Talk.
we're going to give. How many pairs of tickets do you want to give away?
How
Greg
many
and
did
Cathy?
they say we could give away? 2 pair, I think we can give away.
Two?
2 pair?
Okay,
Yeah.
we can include it in Leslie's fun bag if people are in the Chicago area. This is in St. Charles, Illinois. So
Okay.
if you want to go to that show December 21st at the Arcata,
We can
And if you
include
wanna be
one
that
of the
cocky-
pairs in the fun bag, and then
Do
let's
it.
do a
That'd be
second
great.
try.
That'd be
We
great.
can just draw again.
Perfect.
yes.
But because the people in England are sleeping and they were not even hearing us right now, we'll even give 2 tickets away to the Bridgewater Hall in Manchester, England.
If
for
you're
December
going
1st.
over.
If you've got a listener that will go over there and get on
Show
a
us
plane
your
or
tickets.
There you go.
We'll put them on the guest list, and they could even. I guess they can't do that.
They can't
All
do
right,
that.
Greg,
but they
Greg,
come
Greg.
to the show.
Greg, that's enough. Okay.
Did I tell you about this Betamax tape with my
God.
childhood films on
I
it
need
that
to
the
know
guy
more.
took and threw away?
We're going
Oh,
to Zapruder
Jesus.
this show and figure out exactly what happened to that tape,
Okay.
and we will
Gosh.
discover it. We'll
Greg
bring
is
in
getting-
the FBI.
Greg told us he's getting his hair done before they go to London, so I thought it was done, but that's appropriate. He did.
I think we
something-
lost him.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go.
there he is.
No, they're back.
I'm
Yay.
trying to plug the
Go
computer
that
in.
way.
I'm trying to plug
We'll
the
plug
computer
it
in.
in.
Okay, I'll take it from here. Good luck.
I'm sure you'll have us back soon.
Are you kidding me? This is
Yes.
gold.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah,
You guys are
exactly.
Leslie, you have to
Finger
come to the
guns.
show.
Well, you come
Oh,
see us, and I'm
you know
sorry
it's
we
so
didn't
Yes,
come to
Yeah,
your
you're on the
signing.
guest list.
And Rick and his
Rick,
lovely wife.
Rick, of course.
Yes.
Yes,
Come.
you're welcome.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Oh, wait,
Absolutely.
And I'll give you one of
Leslie,
these books for only
fantastic.
$30.
Thank you.
Okay.
Leslie knows how to get
Exactly.
in touch with us.
And I'll give it to my friend, and he'll throw it away.
There you go.
No, I'm
Got
going to
precious
keep mine.
moments in here.
All right, Greg, Cathy, thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you,
Thank you, Gare.
Okay.
Love you
All right.
guys. Oh my God.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
need to breathe.
Did you ever see when Crispin Glover was on the Letterman show and almost
Yeah.
kicked him in the
Yeah.
face?
Yeah.
It was like
Tho-
that.
Those are the only real shows you remember. Those ones
Yes.
that had the night Joaquin Phoenix was on and wouldn't talk to Letterman.
Yeah.
Those are those
Drew
real weird
Barrymore
ones.
lifting
This-
her.
Yeah.
This is
her
one of
shirt.
those.
Yep.
This
was
will go down as
Whew.
what the?
Lordy. You
Holy
know what? I could
shit.
do stories, but
You
I
can't
don't
top
think
that.
it's no.
You can't. No, don't
Seriously,
even go there.
That would be nuts.
Don't go
if-
there.
And so with that, anything we
Ah.
teased on this morning show, you can you can hear it on tomorrow's show, and better still, subscribe to our premium shows, and
Okay.
and you'll get that and some.
You know when you
Holy
get
schmoly.
the harbinger, things are coming, and here's the clue. So today I'm trying to change a toilet seat, and the bolts are rusted. So I got the one off, and it's always the second one that's going to. So I'm trying to get this thing, and it's in an awkward angle against the wall, and I'm and then bam, and I thought, oh, that didn't sound good. And I look, and there's a hole in the porcelain in the toilet seat, and I thought, I wonder if I flush this, if water will come out. Well, it came out. And so now I have to get a whole new toilet, and I'm thinking that was the clue. I should have known.
Flam shooter, man.
Yeah, and then your flam
Played
shooter
all of
went
this
out,
today.
and we're at the top of the hour. News, traffic, weather, and sports back in
we have
20.
to break.
Wow.
Oh,
I did
Lordy.
not expect. See, I know what he's talking about because I got a copy of that, but I didn't know this backstory of his baby
His
photos
beta
on
and
tape.
his baby betas. Oh,
Yeah, I don't. I
Lordy.
mean, the guy that he's talking about, I've known him for a long time, and we're good friends. And now I feel like, oh shit.
We'll try to make things right because we always do. And
Yes, we will.
once again, if nothing else, so we are giving away the prize package. It includes, if you are in the Chicago area, there is that,
At the Arcata Theater, December 21st, pair of tickets.
That
Right.
will be included too. But
Okay.
oh Lordy, I need
Wow.
to rest.
I know, really. I got a leaky toilet, and I got to finish my Manhattan, and
we
let's
got
hit it.
Jimmy John's on the way.
This
so.
was more fun than I ever imagined.
Well, yeah, and
I told you.
yeah. You thought that radio station had some highlights. Huh?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
We're going to take notes for the next book. Once again, it's The Loop Files
Hey,
by Rick
Ryan.
Kaempfer.
Yep.
Oh, I see Johnny's in the comment section. I want to thank Johnny. He sent me a Christmas card.
Aw.
Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate
sweet.
that. You had some pictures to show, right?
I don't have anything too crazy. I have two. Well, I have that video of George. Then I don't know if we want to do that.
Let's do that next week.
Yeah, we'll do
I
that
got
next
to
week.
meet
My only
Hank in
picture
the flesh today.
Oh,
is
you met
this.
Hank.
Is
For the
this
first
my
time.
fake? That's my
That's
fake.
not
turkey.
Hank.
No, that's
not
my
Hank.
fake turkey. You talked about buying turkey. I got a turkey that was already cooked and pretended I cooked it.
And why are you
He
saying
put
that?
it
Now your
into
cover's
it.
blowing.
Yeah, but too late.
Yeah, Leslie got to meet Hank today, so we
It's like I've known the kid forever.
I know
'cause
he was very
we've gotten to
comfortable.
be-
He was like, yeah, I'm going to
He was
Leslie's
like,
house.
"Hey, how you doing? How
How
you
you-
doing? How you doing?" He's 8 years old. How you doing?
totally cool.
So
Anyway.
All right. Okay.
Want to do the drawing?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hashtag Loop Files.
me
You
do
have
this a
one more second to get yourself
Okay.
in for the
All right.
drawing. There we
Here
are.
we go. Let's hit it
Hang
and
on.
get a winner.
We're going to skip the music today because I don't feel like finding it.
Maria.
Oh. Okay, Maria.
I was hoping Maria would win.
All right.
My
Really?
favorite.
Did you mess with the
I did not. No.
We
algorithm
want to
here?
draw
I
again.
didn't.
Do we have another set of
Well,
tickets?
yes. Let me just tell Maria, email me, Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com with your address. I'll get it to Leslie. She'll send it out. Okay. Let's do another hashtag for the tickets.
I'll just redraw right here.
Yep.
And here we go.
All right. Here we go. And we hope the person is in the Chicago area. Tim.
Tim,
All
Sal, 83S. If you are in the Chicago region, you will be getting tickets to the December 21st showing at the Arcata Theater.
You have to see Gregg and Cathy in person. If you
Oh.
think that's weird, wait till you see them.
Wait till you
three
see them on
dimensions.
stage. And it's the band is incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
wait, you think Gregg's got energy on a podcast?
I know.
Wait till you see him behind a drum set.
Remember
It's
that toy,
incredible.
that monkey that you wound up and it would clap the cymbals? That's Gregg.
Times 10. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Congratulations to all, and thank you for watching. And we're going to try to do the autopsy on this and figure it out somehow. Have a great weekend. Let's get the cannoli out. It's delicious. It's complimentary. There it is. Leslie, what about the schnauzer?
If you put your schnauzer on any sort of video platform, make sure that you have backup so that it's not on a Betamax that somehow gets destroyed. That's what we learned.
Kissing
today.
schnauzers. All right.
Mm.
Free in the grain. Gear is down. We'll talk to you on Monday. Flaps are down. The voice of the globe, the GarrForce. Thanks, Rick. We have landed.
And that's it for all the news and nonsense here at the GarrForce.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Thanks for streaming. Like, subscribe, and be kind. But no need to rewind. It sure would be terrific if you subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
More eyeballs.
If you're watching this show recorded, that button is right here. And if you'd like to look at past episodes, try that button.
Boom. Shakalaka.
That's it.
Oh, I guess I'm alone again. All right, how do you shut this thing off?